Hey guys, Patty here. I just wanted to check in because it is Monday and I hope your Monday is going well. It is Monday Musing. My name is Patty DeFelicis with Worthy Nutrition, and don't forget that you are worth anything it takes for good health, because if you have your health, then you are free to fulfill your purpose in this world, and that's pretty darn important. Okay, so today for Monday Musing, I'm going to talk just a little bit about lectins. I'm not going to finish the whole thing. It's going to be like a two-parter or maybe a three-parter because it is pretty complicated. But I'm trying to definitely simplify it for you. So basically, we want to know, are they 100% harmful? What should I look out for? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to kind of explain what lectins are, and then just go through whether they're harmful or not and what kinds. So basically, lectins are proteins that bind to carbohydrates. They are found in all forms of life, so the human body, plants, of course, and that's what we're talking about today, and viruses and bacteria. So they're everywhere. They're also, sometimes they're receptors in cells, or they take up the cell receptors. So they do all sorts of things, good and bad. So the role of lectins in plants, we think, it's not absolutely 100% sure, but we think that the role of lectins is to protect the plant. So basically, and lectins are pretty concentrated in seeds and in leaves. So a bug comes along, starts chowing down on a leaf, and all of a sudden, well, I don't know about all of a sudden, but a little while later, he's digesting the lectin and his stomach explodes basically, and it's like, psh, okay, you are dead. And so that's why you will see plants with half-eaten leaves, because they've been chowing down, and instead of finishing a leaf, they die. There you go. So it's self-preservation for the poor plants, and it's also seed survival. Personally, I think if you got rid of Monsanto, you'd have a much better chance of having seed survival, since they're so fixated on having GMO seeds be the only seeds in this world. So yeah, that's a whole nother story, whole nother day, whole nother story, whole nother topic. Anyway, so there's a subset of lectins that are particularly problematic, or they can be problematic for the human body. Okay, they're hard to digest, first of all, and some fiber is hard to digest too. So it goes all through your digestive tract, and it feeds your bacteria in your colon, which is a good thing. We want some prebiotic. That's what that's called, prebiotic. However, when you have lectins in there, they tend to they go through the digestive tract without being digested. They tend to feed the not so good bacteria like E. coli. So then you end up with an overgrowth and an imbalance. And basically, that's linked to a lot of health problems. Gut dysbiosis. There could be diarrhea, constipation, gas, bloating, all sorts of things. And those are all linked to that. Okay, so these lectins can also damage the cells that form the gut barrier. And the gut, your intestinal walls are one cell thick. You only got one. And there's junctions between each cell. It's like, just kind of think of bricks or like cobblestones, one on top of each other, like straight up, and not on the ground, but straight up. And then there's junctions in between, and at points and certain times, those junctions open up and they let the digested food out into the body, into the blood system. The blood carries these nutrients to the cells to feed the cells. Okay, so what happens is sometimes those junctions open up for these lectins and let the lectins through. The lectins are, number one, too big, and they're also harmful for the body. And then they also let in undigested undigested food, big particles of food, and the body can't recognize them because they're too big. They haven't been fully digested. And so then the body starts attacking these particles, and they memorize these particles as invaders. So then when you keep eating lectins and maybe some other foods, you develop sensitivities to these, and inflammation starts happening. When you get too much inflammation, then the immune system goes into hyperdrive and keeps attacking, and that's how you end up with autoimmune disease. So that is something we definitely want to prevent. We don't want to deal with autoimmune disease. Okay, so it basically just it can overstimulate the immune system. Proportionate amount to the lectins that enter the body and the type of lectins. It also has to do with each person's genetic makeup. So some people might be more susceptible to these lectins doing damage than others. There are also some lectins that have nothing to do with your genetic makeup, and they affect everybody, okay? Unfortunately, these lectins are usually high glycemic load foods. They're incomplete proteins that are actually harder to digest, and I went into that before. And harder to digest than animal proteins. And they have lower vitamin, mineral, and antioxidant content, so they're not really that great. They could be beans, like the prolamines are wheat gluten. The agglutinins, which means they kind of clump together, wheat germ, kidney beans, soybeans, lectins, they all clump together. Those are some examples of what those are. All right, so I just wanted to leave you with that, and you're probably going, okay, what do I do about all this? Don't worry, next week we will continue this. I'll give some tips and some more information on what to look out for regarding lectins, and some really good tips on how to cook things so that we can get rid of some of the lectins, not all of them, but lower them. But I think the biggest tip I will leave you with now is make sure if you're cooking beans, they are fully cooked, especially kidney beans. Kidney beans, when they're not all the way cooked, can have 20 to 40,000 units of lectins in them, where if they're fully cooked, then it could be 200 to 400. That's much lower and much easier to deal with. Kidney beans, uncooked or partially cooked, can make a person really, really ill. So that can cause some major food poisoning. And a lot of times, some of that food poisoning that you get may not be like bad bacteria in meat or something like that. It can be lectin poisoning. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head and make sure you cook your beans, and you should be just fine, okay? So visit me at worthynutrition.com and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I am here for you. If you have any questions, please post them, and also let me know what you'd like to get answers about, whatever subjects you want. And also, I am happy to give you a 20-minute consultation so we can kind of it'll be a discovery session on what your particular needs are for your particular body. Okay? So have a great rest of your Monday, and I will talk to you soon. See you on Friday for Favorite Food Friday. Bye. Ciao for now.